So since we're on this topic, let's just talk about humility real quick. Let me tell you guys something. The reason this sparked is because when I was watching Tega do my challenge yesterday, he was, and I always notice this about Tega. This is This is interesting. Tega, I told him in his chat that he's got the best online demeanor I've ever seen in my life. This dude never gets pissed, and if he does a really good job like resolving it in his head. And it doesn't ever seem like anything bothers him. I watch him make like 50 mistakes in a row, and he's just like, I think he's very experienced. I asked him, I was like, how long have you been playing Street Fighter? You know what I mean? And he said the only time he's ever been really mad was in Pokemon Stadium. I don't remember. I didn't see the clip he was talking about. And he said he's never broken any equipment or anything like that. But let me put that another layer on that. Kimte, that's where I'm leaning towards. So I don't always take people being cool as having like no ego. I just think, like, you ever play? That's, I think Kimte is right on the money with this. Rage probably comes down from an insecurity deep down. Yes, you know how easy it is for me to question myself? You're right on the money, Kimte. He's very confident. He's like weirdly confident in his abilities, because I would say as far as like just like potential goes, it's not like I don't think he's like higher potential than me, but he does believe in himself way more than I do, which means, you know what? If we were to play a first to 10, he would probably win just out of straight, like, I know that by the end of this I can pull through. While I'm thinking, maybe I'm not as good as I think. Maybe I don't have it in me. While he's thinking, just a matter of time. Whether he's right or wrong is not really the point, but he just believes that he can do it. Which kind of goes back to my thought about the humility, where it's like, it's kind of hard to judge how humble someone is just by watching their reactions to things, because what if someone like Tegan, I'm not saying he does, this is just speculation, has a massive ego, but he's able to frame things in a way where it doesn't affect his ego. So if he loses, it's like, well, shit happens. You know, you're able to like downplay the situation. So if you downplay the situation, you're not really letting it get to your head. But I guess I would say I upplay situations. Like every mistake matters in my head, and it starts to get to you. But it's how much affects your ego, and how much you let people see that it affects your ego. Like you could take this about anyone who takes a heavy loss, but is able to persevere. Is that because they were able to fight through it, or were they able to frame it in a certain way? It's like, oh, I'm not really trying. Like, you ever play and then you just say you don't care? You really do care, but you keep telling yourself you don't care, and it affects you less because you're like, huh. Or I always make this example when people pick shitty characters and they lose, and they go, what are you gonna do? I do this all the time. I just made like 50 excuses. I was watching my Rabito set yesterday because I was mad about how bad I was losing. I started complaining after the first game, first round. After the first round, I was already coming up with like a million excuses. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? You see what's going on there? I'm like supplementing my ego. Like, oh, you're not losing because you're getting outplayed. You're losing because, oh, cool moves. Ooh, jury's weak. So I'm like, I'm not even playing the game. I'm just coming up with shit in my head. I have a fucking Murakami novel in my head while I'm watching Rabito play. There's nothing real going on here. Yeah. Especially, I don't know if you're talking about me specifically, but I get affected by it really hard. But it's a problem with everyone. But some people are good at it, but I just want to question why they're good at it. You know, there's some people who I think really don't have that big of an ego where every single thing affects them. It's like a fragile ego, big but fragile. But because Tega, I swear to God, he actually motivates me when I watch him. He's like, man, why don't you ever get mad? You just played so awful that game, and you're just sitting here like, no excuses, just, I don't know how he does it, man. It's admirable. I look up to him for that. It's crazy. Because he makes it, when you watch his gameplay, he just knows how to be, when he needs to do something cool and when he needs to do something basic. You know, like he doesn't ever overextend too hard or anything like that. He just plays his game and then that's it. And he, you know, we were talking about fuck. I saw Musty say something and I got sidetracked there. Yeah, Infectious is like that too. But Tega, he genuinely seems like in his head he can click it off. Oh, he just didn't understand why this game's stressful to people, because Chris Wynn was talking about how stressful this game is for him, and Tega's like, I don't find this game stressful at all. What would this game be stressful for? And I thought, that's so weird, because this game has made me do crazy things. I've broken Bluetooth earphones. I've sobbed over this game. I've scared my dog. I've smacked this wall. I've broken things. I've ended relationships based on how stressed out this game was making me. And for someone like him to say, what? Why? Because truthfully, it has nothing to do with the game at all. The game is the catalyst. The game is bringing it out of you, bringing it to the surface. Muy mal. You're actually a good example of someone who loses to themselves. We all do it, but you'll do it in like 35 seconds. And watching made me realize do the same fucking thing. One thing goes wrong right away, and then it's right to random EX flash kicks. Yeah, it's true, BDN. He probably wasn't always like that, but he might tell you that he was always like that. Actually, no, Book. I think it has less to do with how much time you spend in the game and the more time you spend thinking about the game up here. You know? Come on. How much of the game, when you're playing the game, how much of the time are you spending thinking about the game and not about your own personal issues? You know? I'm sitting here trying to play, and all that's going in my head is fucking idiot, dumbass, bitch. You know, you probably need to frickin' do something else. Because I'm not actually humble. Even though I don't put myself above anyone, I swear to you guys, as a person, I put myself above nobody else. I really don't. When I die, I'm going in the dirt, just like everybody else. I don't think that about myself. However, you get wrapped up in what Kimte mentioned, like your insecurity. It's not so much that you want to be better than everyone, but you just want to be able to perform at your best. Yeah, see, Musty, I don't really think it has that much to do with that. I feel like his demeanor is built on his security maybe outside of the game, and maybe he's got all his chips in the right place everywhere else. I feel like, you know, you don't have that mindset just from playing multiple games. I think it comes down to a lot more than that. Like, can you ever imagine him like you know how losing to Daigo made Tokido cry like that? I just don't imagine that same thing happened to Tega. I don't think he has that emotional investment into the game. A lot of people are emotionally invested. I really don't feel like he's like that. Like, he probably just wonders, what does emotion have to do with it? Or maybe he's just had in real life experiences that have taught him to always be like, hey, there are worse things. Yeah, but haven't we all? But yeah, it's easy to get wrapped up. It's just easy to get wrapped up, and especially when you notice something and something like this player right here, who just walk up EXDP'd me. I took that as like as a personal attack on me. Taking things personally, like him doing walk up EXDP had anything to do with me as a person, but I took it as like, oh, excuse me, bitch. If I see you in real life, we're fighting because you just said digitally that you had sex with my mom. I mean, you know what? I don't take kindly to that shit, bitch. But it's not like that. He just did it because he wants to, you know, let people do whatever. Let people JO. Who cares? Let people JO. I mean, that's what they'd be doing if they weren't playing Street Fighter anyway, you know? Patricia, you know, I think it really has to do with, I'm not gonna get too personal. We'll save that between you and I, but you know, I think it has to do with how you're raised and how maybe your parents handled things too, and how other people handled things, and Like there's got to be a reason why people are more insecure than others, more than just like the decisions that they made, but just what they've been through. So is the argument though, if we had more composure like Ticket, it would prove more success in the game? Yes, I think. Well, no, your well-being while you're playing the game. He'll be able to play longer because it doesn't. Every match doesn't affect him the way I play. Like imagine all you guys. Imagine playing ranked for 6 hours. If he does it, his mood is probably the same at the end. You do it. Okay? Different story. I do it, different story. 6 hours of ranked equals, heartburn. It takes a lot to stay poised in situations like that, but I believe he really cares about the game. We invest in what we care about, but perhaps he's just the type who caught on the tactic points who works any massive. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Every time I watch him play, I've never seen him get salty. I've seen him get a little like miffed about a situation, but he quickly resolves it in his head. And I think he just tells himself, like this game, there's no guarantees in this game. Like you can lose to whoever. And and as a matter of fact, let's check something out real quick. Well, it's not fair to look at his win rate now because he was trying all those demons, but he loses a lot, but he just moves on to the next match. Rushdown is the complete opposite of Tega, in one way. He's very confident in himself, but he has to constantly redeem himself in his own head, just like I do. You need to find a quick way to redeem yourself. That's what getting salty is. Instead of trying to come up with a solution, you just immediately. Something of that was outside of my control, my fault. This game's stupid. So he's very confident, but his foundation, just like me, I feel like is very shaky. But he is able to get past that and play way more consistently. His win rate is crazy consistent. So he moved on. Maybe he just recovers quickly. So he'll be like, oh, dumbass piece of shit character, whatever. But then by the next time he needs to play again, he's already resolved it or something. Which I don't know if I can ever necessarily stop the demon from yapping, but maybe I can get him off my shoulder faster. They hop on, dumb bitch, and then, well, in whatever the case might be, maybe he's just very skilled, and like the skill overrides because I'm in his stream for 1 second. I don't really watch his stream that much because there's nothing particularly interesting to me going on. But this dude talks garbage, I would say, probably 94% of the time. 95 if he runs into me or something. But every time I walk in, that was fucking fraudulent. Or like whatever he says, like, smoked. You got smoked. Got smoked. He like barely won against this guy. Like it was like neck and neck, and he had this much health up and he won. He's like, smoked. What? You barely won. Fucking smoked. Hey, sorry. Like I said, I've spent a total of 3 minutes in this guy's chat. Sorry, I don't keep it in my mouth, BDN. We can't all do that. All right. Oh yeah, I mean, but Musty, Brian F admits that. I've been in NL's chat just about as long as I've been in anybody else's, like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, but he knows that. Smug also recovers very quickly too. He does get salty, and I actually walked in when he got salty for like 5 minutes. He was in chat just complaining about Colleen for like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh shit. It's nice to see other people get salty of that profile. NL legit is another one. I mean, most of these high level players, no, I mean, he was legit complaining though when I walked in. He was doing a Colleen combo. He's like, man, I lost off a fuck like that, and you're like, okay, that's okay to like mutter about that, but he went on about it for a few minutes. Now Brian F is cool. I appreciate Brian F because he knows his issues. I can relate to him. He knows his issues and he's constantly trying to work on it. You guys don't understand. Even though I get salty on the stream, it eats at me after the stream, and I really try my best in my next stream to be like, okay, I'm not gonna call CR Maxwell a fucking fluke. Whatever's gonna happen. That's why I think a lot of you guys don't take what I say personally, because I'm trying to explain to you guys how it's just a, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a projection. I don't know. I sensed salt, but you could be right. I mean, I don't know him. Maybe he's low sodium soy sauce, you know? I don't know. But you know, I get that, Iggy, but damn. Biggest Iggy kind of fucking going off a little bit right there. But at least he's translating his salt to be informative, because what he does actually does help people. So at least turn your... that's kind of what I do. Look at these topics I'm talking about. I'm talking as if I have all these things covered, but I'm only talking about it because I know I have these problems. And then there's people like Kami. I wonder how much of it is character and how much of it, if he does think somewhere in his head, like if he just disparages everybody, he can keep himself higher. But he's an interesting character. I think so too. I think even when he's by himself, he's like garbage. Do you think he would be better if he didn't always do that? Because I think a part of you has to, just a little bit of you. See, I think Patty would disagree with that. I think she would say that Kami does care about the game, but he uses that to belittle, to downplay the situation. Because, you know, he does say stuff, he legit says, like, that's mad random. And I always talk about how the word random is a way to kind of... If I could get paid to play Call of Duty, he said it would never see me again. Like he gets paid for this. How much do you guys think these people are getting paid? Then I don't know why people are doing what they don't care about. That's weird. But he's not getting paid from this game. How much do you guys think he's getting paid? You think UIU pays? I seriously doubt that. He's not living off this game. There's no way. Me and him have similar view counts, and you only get paid by your streaming by your subscribers. I don't know. Maybe he has more subscribers than me, but I don't think. Nah. I won't even tell you. I do a lot of stuff on the side, Street Fighter related, and I'll tell you guys, I do not make. I make rent, and that's it. Yeah, we're talking. Like, just trust me, guys. Anyway. Let me go to the bathroom real quick, but I really want to cover some other stuff, so don't go anywhere, especially you, Patty, or I'll be really pissed. And call Chobo and tell her to come in. If he says he's making $5, he's not lying. He's still getting paid, right? But we know what getting paid means. I don't mention getting paid when someone tips me a couple bucks. I don't think so, Laka, but you could be right. Right? But when people constantly talk about how much they make, that's another flex insecurity. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, I think Patty's got it going on. But she doesn't flex it though. But she kind of does it. She doesn't like pull out the gun and go like this. She kind of just like unveils the bicep, you know. She's kind of like. So she doesn't like full on take the shirt off and go like what she. Like she's the guy who in the mirror who like looks at his tricep at the gym, kind of like that. You know, like not trying to be out of her way to flex on people, but just if you happen to notice a little musculature there, and what were you looking for? All right, I have to pee really bad, but I see what you're saying, BDM. Okay, I see a lot of simp chat in the chat. Okay, so of course Daigo comes into mind when you talk about humility, of course. I think he genuinely doesn't find himself to be better, puts himself above anybody. I think it's just an internal belief. He's been so experienced and aware of himself that he plays, and then he just lets it fall where it may. I'm gonna try my hardest. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I don't totally believe that he doesn't have like some sort of hidden superiority complex. How are you that prolific? And just, what do you think about yourself? It's like me, BDN, and a few others with game advice, then other people just slurping. But you guys giving game advice, maybe that's simping. Huh? Do you go in other dudes' chats and give them game advice? I doubt it. Don't lie to me. Don't even respond to that. Okay, so let's talk about a big one for me. Differences in training on and off stream. And I had never really thought about this until the topic came up in my head. I was like, is there a difference between training on and off stream? I'm like, holy shit. So first of all, you guys, it's I would say overall it's negatively affected my training for a few reasons, not just the obvious ones of it being kind of distracting. And I also need to make sure that I'm communicating with you guys, because you guys are just as important to me as like the game is at this point. Because let's face it, unless I commit all the way to wanting to win premieres and stuff, this game's not going to take me anywhere by itself. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm never getting first at Combo Breaker. I don't have the wherewithal to commit myself that hard to one thing. And if you're not going to do that, you're not going to win. Okay? So just, if you're not putting in the time, you're not getting where you want to be. The amount of work you put in is what you get out of it. And I've noticed training on stream and off stream, I'm very divided in my attention. I will say there are perks in that, I can watch my replays on the bus because it's on stream and not on the replays. I take you guys seriously. Not all you guys. But you guys say things that make sense sometimes. And that's another big thing, like if I can just get my stubbornness out of the way, I also can get people to actually give me legit information sometimes. Like Chris Wynn and Sanford's a good example because he's like the worst at giving advice. Like he just does it in the worst way. But if you just listen to what he's saying, it generally makes sense a lot. But it's just the way the timing, this is how he. Like he does this and then says, hey man, I'm just trying to help. But the thing is, you really have to. He means well. I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he means well. But if you didn't have any pride in you at all, you would just take the information and be like, okay. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw him yesterday while I was playing Rabito. I saw him say, "Oh, I love smoking this guy every time I play him." Like, what the fuck? What is that? Where did that come from? But you know, I can relate with Sanford a lot. I think Sanford is a lot. I think we are similar a lot in a lot of ways. I think he really puts his heart on his sleeve, and I think he really projects hard. I project hard, you guys. That's one of the perks and downfalls of being like an honest guy. Because I know you guys know that I acknowledge my weaknesses, and anytime I'm complaining, I think I complain about my weaknesses enough, or I talk about my weaknesses enough that when I complain about stuff, you guys should know that it's just projecting. Like anytime I say BDN is just doing random bitch shit or whatever I'm saying, you guys know at this point that I'm just talking about what's going on inside of me. Not, it actually has nothing to do with BDN as a player or CR Maxwell as a player. You know what I'm saying? I think anyone who's been here for a while should know that very little of it has to do with the actual thing. Anyway, the differences are major. I think streaming is hindering my performance and my attention for sure. And I need to start training offline more. Or off stream. But you guys also have to understand, I don't know how long you guys have been playing, but before I started streaming, I know I've only been streaming recently, but trust me guys, I was playing this game 8 hours a day. I was full-time playing this game. So there's a part of me, of course, that thinks I should be better than X, Y, Z, okay? I don't know how long Musty's been playing, but think about it like this. Or BDN, I don't know how long you've been playing. I don't know how many hours you have in this game. But if I think to myself, I have, 8,000 hours in this game, you only have 4,000, that gives me reason to believe I should never lose to you. I have twice the time. You see what I'm saying? But that is such faulty thinking. Of course not, BDN. It's totally flawed. Just Honor asked a good question. Do you think streaming could help get used to tourney atmospheres or generally just being watched while playing? So I do think that. However, there's an added pressure now because if I ever go up on stream, an expectation has been set for me because I do stream all the time. So I have more attention, there's just more momentum. Like, for example, when I played against Rob, there wasn't really much pressure on me because I was the underdog. People didn't really know me that well. So the fact, if I can take a game off of him, it's big. But if he beats me, that's kind of what was supposed to happen. Now, if I run into a rando in tournament, I'm supposed to beat him. I'm supposed to beat this player. And if I don't perform well, I'm going to hear about it in my next chat or whatever, you know what I'm saying? My next stream, people are like, "Would really drop the ball, bro." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Patty's going to hit me up and say she doesn't want to talk to me anymore, stuff like that. So I need to make sure that, I win. I study 4 hours a day, but I only have the book open in front of me and actually not reading it. Quality of training matter. You just skip to the chapter you like. You went 3 and 2? Yeah, I don't think I can keep coming to your streams. Yeah, I don't watch losers. If you don't get out of pools, then you can go drown. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is that I do 6-hour streams, right? I don't train for 6 hours. I train for maybe a total about thinking about the game. I would say 2 hours max, which means technically I'm training only 2 hours a day, where I'm actually very focused in, and that's if I'm lucky. 2 quality hours of actually thinking about the game, right? Even though 6 hours is spent talking about the game, discussing stuff, I could say 2 hours of quality time a day if I'm lucky. Sometimes 0. Sometimes you can be off stream on Saturday. Maybe I'll stream, maybe I won't. I'm not sure. But I could play, a long session of a mix of like training, lounge, ranked, and you might get 0 hours of quality. I like that Kevin Malone Chili brought that up. Do you think Tokido's locked in for the full 8 hours, or at least trying to? He's definitely at least trying to. But when you watch his stream, he lollygags too. But when he's playing, he's fucking paying attention. When he's playing the game, he's paying attention. You watch these guys play first to tens, there's no bitching in the middle of it. There's no in the middle of it. These guys are just locked in the whole time. That's a beautiful thing. BDN, you see how I'm making like a conscious effort when I play like super silver players. I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention," even though I'm destroying them. I feel bad that I'm not paying attention because this is like a test for me for my attention skills. Even though I can't learn anything really on a technical level against a super silver, the fact that I can actually pay attention to a super silver when I play them. That's what all champions do. You ever watch Magnus Carlsen, the chess player, when he's playing like a regular person? You could tell he's not like yeah. He's actually like trying. He's like, how fast can I dismantle this person, I wish I had that more. Everyone kind of deserves the same amount of respect as far as just being a human goes, because at the end of the day, you're playing a human, right? And sometimes I just one-player game the shit out of lower ranked people. But you know what the problem with that is? Is that you accidentally develop that habit, and that part turns on when you don't want it to. So if I'm sitting there lollygagging through gold, and then I play Rabito and do the same thing, but then he destroys me because I didn't remember to, the stimulation is different. Stacky's always like, Patricia, I ain't paying attention. Bye. Come on. I try my best. I really do. Which actually goes right to tunnel vision. And there's no way this doesn't happen to you guys. But when I watched my Rabito, this is all this stuff is based on my Rabito replays because it made me think so much. All these topics are based on that. Everything was wrong. I developed tunnel vision. The on-stream training was like distracting me because a part of it was wondering how I'm looking on stream, and a part of it was like how I'm playing the game. What to remember, what to forget, humility, all that stuff went right out the window. So I failed on all parts. And when I watched the replays, the amount of stuff I was not aware of that's very basic, like how much he was storing in my face, and how much he was doing the same patterns, but I just was like totally like a deer in headlights. Tunnel vision, it shouldn't always be used in a derogatory way. Like sometimes it's good to hone in on a particular thing, but I feel like tunnel vision, when you say that, you're talking about an inadvertent closing in on something that's not really helpful. I think tunnel vision is usually used in a derogatory way. Like I never heard that used in a nice way. Like, he's got great tunnel vision. But like if I really try to hone in on what I was thinking about when I was playing Rabito, all I could think of is like nothing in particular. Abstract, foggy sequences. And if something worked, it wasn't a culmination of me putting strategies together. It was just me clearing the fog for a second. And then as soon as something happened, the fog happened again. I wasn't really thinking about anything in particular. I did start to think, like, look at his resources more when he has storing and when he doesn't. But other than that, his actual gameplay, he caught me in the same space traps. I watched like 5 replays and I had to stop because like it's the same thing over and over. Space trap, space trap, space trap. And me not changing my buttons, which if you guys see right here, on this page, scene, whatever you want to call it. Defensive option cycling. Instead, I did the same thing defensively every time. So I developed a hard case of tunnel vision, not even paying attention to the game. Like, I was very much not inside the game. It was all about just not being able to open my eyes all the way. And that's not always my fault. Like, I was trying. I was making an effort to open my eyes, and I couldn't. So it's not like I gave up. I could not. I much rather fail than give up. Whatever that means. Which can kind of go into what to remember, what to forget, because I think a part of that was I was remembering things that weren't helpful in a match. What's up? Yeah, I definitely kept you and Glitter in mind, even though Glitter's not in the chat right now. But she said, I want some Elder Scrolls music tomorrow. And I was like, okay, Kim Tae does too, so Skyrim it is. But, man, what to remember and what to forget. When I find myself trying to acknowledge what someone's doing, I find myself turning on everything. Oh, he just did this after this. And I have no idea. And you guys can talk about this in the chat and try to, if anyone has any insight. I tend to remember everything or nothing. What did he do after I pressed crouch medium kick? What did he do after do this? What was he standing like that? I don't know if necessarily everything, you try to remember everything, because then you just get overloaded with information that's not helpful. So I need help discerning what it is I actually need to keep it and let go of. You know? Getting hit with the EXCP on wake up, or him hitting me on my wake up with the EXCP, is that really worth remembering? If you noticed, BDN, this happens every now and then, and it's crazy. Okay, when I was on my way to getting UGM, and do you remember I fought Tanachi before that? And he got absolutely dismantled, the same way that happened to Rob. Sometimes everything clicks in your head at the same time, and it's like you see, literally, you see everything. Did you see when I played Tanachi, I did backdash 4 times right out of his slide and whiff punish that shit. And I didn't even consciously think to do that. I just said, boosh, and everything was lined up. Like, it's like you develop this weird vision, and everything just falls right into it. And it, like, you know, there's 2 players playing, so maybe it has something to do with them. Almost like they're playing your game. Maybe he was watching the stream. Maybe he knew I was on my way to UGM and wanted it really bad, but I just knew I wasn't gonna lose. You don't remember that? Okay. Do I still have the raw file, I wonder? No. But it's crazy. Like, nothing was gonna hinder me. I already knew, I had it locked in my head. I'm playing this guy as hard as I can for the next 2 minutes or whatever. Nothing is gonna distract me. I was so committed to getting UGM that day, right after that match, that nothing was gonna happen. I thought, this guy's dying right now, and he died so fast. Yeah, and you know why that is? Because I'm not hanging on to things that don't matter. Which is the point of, like, what to remember, what to forget. Like, why are you still... Why am I playing this Kage and still thinking about CR Maxwell's dumbass wake-up EX knee? That's not helpful. You know? So forget it. I commend people who are on a losing streak and are not upset. That's the people I commend. I don't commend people who are like, who are just able to flow like that. I mean, I guess I wish I had that trait sometimes. Like, there's some people who just how do they do it? Yeah, oh, for sure. You're just hanging on to, like, baggage. It's the same thing, like bringing every single thing you own to the airport. Okay, when you just needed a pair of sandals and some shorts. But you have, like, an old water filter, Anyway, this all boils down to my current goals. But Phil says, you ever lose so much you ran out of rage and end up full circle back in the Zen mode? Because I have. Okay, the only thing I can compare this to, this is deep, you guys. I haven't shared this with a lot of people, except for maybe I've shared it with you guys before. But there's only one time when I went on such a devastating losing streak, and I'm not talking about Street Fighter. I'm talking about something even more devastating than that. I was playing Tekken 6, and I lost 5 ranks. I went down 5 ranks in one day, and I felt myself. It was almost intentional. It was almost like I was like a fucking Jenga set. Like I pulled on the wrong block and just and I wanted it to shatter down on me. Like I just felt I didn't feel like I was playing to win. I was playing to lose. Boom, 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 boom. I went down 5 ranks. No rage. I went to the fire escape and I cried for like an hour, hating myself over whatever it is, a false narrative. And yeah, I woke up the next day different. I went to work and I said, guys, I cried over a video game yesterday. And he's like, that's really like strong of you. I'm like, that's so weak. But yeah, this wasn't as a kid. This was me probably. This is probably like at this point like 8 years ago. But it damaged me permanently. So I was just like, that's all I had going for me at the time, was just like, I want to be good at this game, or not even that. Not even I want to be good at this game, because I showed you guys my gameplay from Tekken. It's like how the stuff I always complain about with these guys. I played like that. I played like Child. I played like just backup, special, backup, special, backup, special, and it's with no understanding of the game fundamentally. But I was high rank. I was the #1 ranked Heihachi. Don't you guys see why I hate this so much? Why I'm always making fun of these guys? Because I see myself in it, and I hate it. You see what I'm saying? I was #1 ranked Heihachi in America, not because I don't think you were able to look at world rankings. In America, I was #1 ranked, and I played it just like them. And I hate it. And I've made a commitment that we're talking about. One of my current goals is to not ever be like that, because I'm still like that sometimes. If you watch little micro moments in the game, you can still see skipping neutral because you're comfortable with something else, or just skipping a part because you're not, feeling it mindlessly. I never want to be like that, and I used to play just like that, and I was ranked #1. That's why I hate it. And I got undeserved credit. People would message me all the time, bro, you're the sickest Heihachi. I didn't know shit about the game, and I know these guys think the same thing. I know they get messages all the time. Oh, #1 ranked this, #1 ranked that. You're so sick. You're so sick. And I know in the back of their head, just like I did, nah. I know there's people out there who are better than me. I'm ranked #1 only by points, and that's why I just have a deep resentment. It's a deep resentment for myself that's projecting onto people who that reminds me of. That's my fault. They can play however they want. It's all me. Any problem I have is my own, and I project it onto others, and I think that's okay, because honestly, get some fucking thick skin and don't let my stupid words bother you, okay? Because you got your own problems too. Yeah, they all should be. What's up, Silent Chains? I am having a good stream, which all lines up to my current goals. My current goals are more general these days. Like a little part of it is get better each day at the game, but really that's been on standby. I want to stream for a long time. I enjoy it. My numbers are only slowly growing. I'm not skyrocketing like some of these fucking people, but very gradually. You guys who are cool to the chat, you guys have been coming for a while. BDN, I was watching a video from a long ass time ago. You were in it. I had not realized how long you've been in the game because it says you are a 2-month fucking subscriber, which means there's been at least 6 months of you not supporting my life. So, you know, I want to be able to do this more and more. And like I said, I still, when over the weekend, when I take those 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday, I can't wait to get back to Monday and get back to it. This ain't work for me. I mean, it's work, but it's work that I enjoy doing. I legit enjoy doing it. And I do so many hours. I was doing 8 hours a day for a while, but I saw those last 2 hours were always detrimental. And as a matter of fact, I should probably be doing 4 hours. You know, I do 2 hours of ranked, 1 hour of topic, and then the last lounge or whatever it might be. But I could probably get away with 4 hours and be a little bit more concise and have more viewers average, because you guys know it's a viewer average that gets you like partner or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's the thing, Kevin Sprigg, that I don't think it's ever going to be super quality on stream, because you can either do boring stuff and lose viewers. Because I've tried, when I first started doing this, I was just training the way I normally do, in training mode doing this, and my viewers were not up. You know, people don't really want to watch you practice boring stuff unless you're a particular person. Sets with good players, yeah. I'm talking about like Daigo shit, practicing the same fucking thing over and over, but people only watch it because of Daigo. They don't watch because they, you know, he's just, his art form is enjoyable to watch. But I don't even watch Daigo, you know. And the talks and ass whooping at the same time is cool as hell. I'm glad people enjoy it, but I see that as a flaw in my gameplay. So my current goals really are continue to do this and grow gradually. I'm okay with growing gradually. What is the rush? People would rush to get to a certain point, and then what do you guys know? People get what they want, and what do you know? It's not enough. We talked about this yesterday. What if I woke up and had 30K followers? Oh shit, I'm fucking popular. And then just like that, I'm used to it. And we're right back to square one. Because it's got nothing to do with where you're at, but it's where you're going. If you have nowhere to go, then you got nowhere to be. There are two types of SF5 streamers, you and Sheldon, and then the people who just play ranked. Me and Sheldon are a little different. Anytime I go into Sheldon's stream, he kind of always has like this, like I've never seen him get super excited, and I've never seen him get super upset. He kind of just, he kind of like breezes through. Cause I find myself frequenting his stream, but I will admit that I'm never in there for particularly long. But I don't think that's because of his content. That's because I'm a streamer too, and I don't think streamers really sit and watch other streamers for very long. Like people who stream as often as I do, 30 hours a week, 30 plus hours a week. Sheldon is the most generic white I know. He kind of treats it like a job, huh? Like how he would be at work. He treats it like a job. Like, this is my job. I have to do my work. This is my 9 to 5. Well, I appreciate that, Musty. At the end of the day, whatever suffering I have to go through to make myself better, if you guys can take a single grain of something from it, then that's totally worth it. If you guys watch me, and even if you think this is an example of what I don't want to be like, I find that valuable too, because I understand I am so flawed as a player that if you watch my stream and you think to yourself like, man, this guy, all he does is talk shit or whatever, and you don't want to be like that, I'll take that too. Because I don't, like I said, whatever you guys might think about my ego or how I feel about myself is you're likely wrong. Trust me, I sleep easy at night. You know why I sleep easy at night? Because I never think anything of myself that is not true. I don't. Never. I never think I'm better than anybody. I genuinely think that. So you guys hear me talking smack on your ass. Just, just remember, anyone who talks a lot of shit should be able to take it too. And I take your guys, sometimes you guys fucking piss me off. Why do you guys say things at the time that you say them? And I've noticed this because I'll be in a pretty bad situation, and then some idiot comes in the chat like, huh, nice one. And then the streamer just has to deal with it.